Over the past year or so, we've gone through a lot of pump sprayers. I've been getting a lot of questions about what pump sprayer this, what pump sprayer that. So in this video, I'm gonna kind of review a few pump sprayers that we've used, give it its pros and cons, its features, and kind of give you a overview of which one is the best pump sprayer depending on what you're working on. So I'm not gonna really display each one as far as how it pumps, how it feels, how it sprays. I have other videos on that showing you, like a lot of other videos. So on this one, it's more so talking about the overall thoughts of each pump sprayer and which ones I like, which ones I don't like. So I'll have everything linked down below in the description box for the pump sprayers that we're using. In this video, I'm also sweating a lot because I'm in the shop with the doors closed, so that way there's not a lot of outside noise coming in, so don't mind that. But anyways, let's get started with this video. All right, so here we have an assortment of pump sprayers. Now in total, I think we have, you know, across all different types of pump sprayers at the shop and in the van, we have at least like 15 pump sprayers, right? So I'll just, in no particular order and no like, I'm just gonna give you a rundown of each one and then kind of give you my overall thoughts on which one is the best pump sprayer based on the application. So we'll just start from left to right. So here we have the IK. I will link everything down below because I'm not trying to remember all these names. This is the IK Foam Pro 12 pump sprayer from IK. Now I made a video on this not a while back. This is in total 2 gallons, 3 gallons. Now we've actually, like over the last month or so, we've really started to like this one much more than your standard ones. We're actually gonna get another one for the van on how much we like this. Now it's a great build, great quality, right? The handle is perfect. Now, like for instance with this one, a lot of times when you want to carry it, it kind of shifts and then it releases the pump, and then you kind of, when you're trying to carry it and it just kind of slips out. Pause. It's just a little weird. With this one, it stays nice and tight, like it doesn't really rotate on its own and come up. So the handle here, the handle design, fantastic relative to like something like this, or even smaller pump sprayers. So that's fantastic. I do like that it has this placement here to keep it handy as far as like once you're not using it, you can slide it through here, and then now it's kind of has its own little placeholder. Problem with this one is that you get none of that. It just, you know, you kind of put it somewhere. You could thread it through here and do that, but it's still like not the, you know, it's still gonna be a little sloppy, and organizing it and storing it just makes it a bit more hectic versus something like this. Now the wand here, fantastic. Like everything on this is well built. The base here, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the base itself is fantastic. Like it's not gonna rock, it's not gonna fall over if you kind of push it here. It's a much narrower base. So it's more of a cylinder. This one is more like a flat, actual like circle base. So like this one, it's much more prone to tip over versus this one. Obviously it's gonna depend on how much fluid you have, but regardless, I would say the base on this one is better. Being able to store the wand is much better. The biggest benefit to this one is that we're able to pressurize it via an air compressor, right? So here it is, you just fill it up with air, and then it has a pressure release valve. So with this one, it has a lot of pros, right? Now the drawbacks to this one is it is bigger, it is clunkier, right? As you can see, like even though it is easier to store because you can place the wand right here, it has a flatter surface so you can like kind of scoot it in more tight spots without it falling. But it still is a bit more clunkier. It is, you know, there's a lot more things sticking out of it. So that's one side where it's just a bit more clunkier. The other thing is the price in itself. I think it's like 100 and, don't quote me on this, 140. Just check the link down below to check for that. So it's not cheap either. So like, you know, getting just 2 of them, you're running close to 300 with tax and shipping and such. So it's pricey. Next we have here is the Merrell X. So Merrell X, I'm a big fan of them because of all the pump sprayers I've used. Like Merrell X really stood out. Now with this one, what I like most about it is the ergonomics of the pump sprayer, meaning like this one compared to this one, right? This one on the IK, this is still IK brand. This is the multi 1.5 pump sprayer. To release the pressure here, you have to pull up. Now that's not a big thing, but sometimes it's just something you gotta like really squeeze your hand in here and pull the valve up. Whereas with this one, the pressure release, you actually press down. It's not gonna make any noise because there's no pressure to be released. Oh, there it goes, yeah. But you push down, so it is easier. Like with you know, instead of doing this and pulling it up, all you do is press down, right? This one, at least on this one specifically, there's no auto locking mechanism, right? So you always have to hold it. You always have to hold it down. I'm not gonna press it because some might come out. Okay, you always have to hold it down to spray. Depending on what you're doing with this one, you can actually lock it into place and keep on spraying. So that does help auto lock. As far as grip here, I mean, it's just your basic L-shaped handle, right? Nothing crazy. But with this one, it's more of a arc. It gives you these, what do you call these? These little grips right here. And also here, it gives you more texture to grab. So it's ergonomically for the handle, it is far superior to something like this. Now, even how you pump it, the pump sprayer on this one is much better than this one. I can't tell you really why. It's just the way it's built and everything. It's much better on this one than this one. Now on the inside, here goes again, right? Versus this one. Now, as far as the tips, like here, it lets you store some extra tips if you want to change the fan. Here also, it gives you different tips, but it doesn't let you store it. So here, I mean, if you want to like continually switch out the tip, then I can see that being a benefit to you, that you can store it here. I don't really see it as a pro or a con because we don't really change it that often. Even when we do, like, we can easily store this somewhere else. So I'll still give it a plus because it's a feature that IK doesn't have. And I guess if you do want to switch out the tips more often, you can. So I guess that win in that regard. I like the overall configuration, like how it's built, like how wide it is and such. It's a different size, of course. But I like the way how it's built overall. So I'm a big fan of the Merrell X line because there's plenty of options depending on like the type of cleaner that you're gonna use in here, the size. So there's plenty of options. But I am a very big fan of the Merrell X pump sprayers. Next here, we have the IK multi or 1.5, multi 1.5, I don't know. I'd say this one is probably your best entry level one. So I think this one's like $35. I think this one's like $25, $29. I would say like as an entry level one, this is probably the best one as far as like your best best value one, because I think this is one of the cheaper, more affordable ones. It's not really cheap because you can go to Home Depot for like a $12 pump sprayer and you know it'll get this job done for a while, but this one is still like probably the more affordable option of the higher grade ones. But pretty straightforward. I do believe the Merrell X one, you have to get the appropriate one because on the inside on these, I should mention, on these, you can actually tilt the pump sprayer in whichever way, and for the most part, it'll suck the cleaner out because it has this, you know, whichever way you switch it, it's gonna go to the bottom. So that is very beneficial, as it's not like, you know, us detailers are always like upside down trying to spray something, but if you are, you have this feature. Whereas with the with the IK, you do not have that feature. So that's a big difference in that one as well. Again, it's not like, you know, if you're not freaking, you know, trying to do a backflip or anything with it, then it should be fine. But that is, again, when you do need that extra little, like when you're kind of rotating it this way, it does help that it's always gonna get cleaner from the bottom versus this one where it has to be in this fashion, or at least enough liquid in there for it to suck out the cleaner. But overall, I mean, not much to say. This is like a really good entry-level starting pump sprayer that gets the job done. Fantastic. Next here, we bought this at our local carpet cleaning supply store. We get a lot of stuff from there, actually. This is 3 gallons. I think it was like 100 and some, like, I don't know. We bought it a long time ago, like 110 bucks maybe, or 90 bucks. I don't remember. It's 3 gallons. So over with this one, the biggest benefit is just the size and that it's lasting. There's so many pump sprayers on the market, right? Like we've gone through a lot of them as far as like different brands, different sizes. Some break easily, something cracks, something the one this. So we've actually gone through quite a bit. I don't know every brand because we try so many. If it doesn't work, we just discard it and buy another one of some sort and test it out. So I can't tell you every single brand we've used or like whatever, like, right? Like you might have a better scenario with one of the brands that we used. And just, you know, just maybe we got like a faulty one or whatever. But this one, it's like your standard 3 gallon, nothing crazy. There's nothing to store it. You know, nothing else to say other than it's lasted for maybe 8 months now. We have carpet pre-spray in here. Now if you're using iron remover, it'll actually eat up, unless you get the appropriate I believe you get the appropriate pump sprayer, the iron remover will eat up the whatever the thing that sucks out the cleaner. So we have our iron remover in the IK pump sprayer, in this one specific, well not this one, but this model here. So that's a basic rundown of this. Overall, my thoughts as far as best one that we like, it's hard to say just because there's different applications for each one, right? For instance, like we only have APC diluted 4:1 in this one. We use this for the engine, for the wheels, tires, wheel wells, and if we need a rinse, pre-rinse the front end because there's like a lot of bug guts and stuff, we'll use this one 100% of the time. For this one, for these pump sprayers, we use like ONR, like a clay lube or a quick detailer, or all-purpose cleaner diluted either 10:1 or 4:1. And here we use our carpet pre-spray. We put this one in here just because we use so much pre-spray that it just makes sense to put it in a bigger one. We're gonna get another one of these, but for the van. That way, there's more liquid to use, and we can air it up with our air compressor in the van. So there's pros and cons to each one. I would say though, for like let's say wheels, tires, and engines, which is like a very frequent thing that you do. I'll definitely go with the IK pump sprayer. It's most costly, it's a little more bulkier, but it's worth the price. And for an entry-level pump sprayer, I would 100% go with the IK pump sprayer. If you want a little better, I actually don't know the real price comparison, but if you want a bit more power and just overall better features and better design, I'd go with the Merrell X line. Like within the IK, there's multiple models. Within the Merrell X, there's multiple models. Within, again, IK, but different sizing, there's multiple models. Some foam, some not. Some you can interchange them. You have to look into, I'm not gonna give you every single last little detail of every single last pump sprayer, but just a general consensus of what I have going on. This one, again, just pretty standard, nothing crazy. So I would say entry level, just getting started, go with one of these, right? IK, something, I don't even know the brand. We just got it at our local carpet cleaning supply store, right? If you're like, okay, I'm gonna upgrade one of the air movers. I'm going to, I want to try something a little better. Something like the IK, like this one specifically. Again, because this is IK, but this is IK Advanced, and this is like an entry level IK. I'd go with the Merrell X line, or with the with this IK Foam Pro 12. I don't know if they have like a non-foam option. I need to check, because if they do, I'll get like 2-3 more. But that's the way I look at it in that regard. In the van, we have all of these. We have like 2 ONRs, 2 APCs, 1 iron remover. In various ones, we might have like 2 pump sprayers, like 3 IKs. So we have a variation of all of them. So I'm not saying there's one exact best, like this is the one you need to get. It just depends on the application, how much money you have to spend on it, like what all you need to have. Like again, we have like 15 pump sprayers across everything that we do in both the van and the shop. So, take that for what it is. So yeah, it's more like which one's the best for the application and the time that you need it for. Not so much saying like across the board, regardless of what you're using, this is the best one. That's usually not the way to rank something, because it just really depends on what you're working on. All right, and there we go. That's gonna wrap up this video. Again, I didn't want to go into like showing you how it sprays on each one, because there's different tips, there's different models, there's so many configurations, I guess you could say. So that's why I just kind of talked about the features and what I liked and what I didn't like. If you want me to make more like of an actual comparison of like the fan spray and all that, let me know. But at the end of the day, a pump spray is a pump spray as far as like it's gonna spray out, right? So there's a lot of other things besides just the spray itself. So anyways, let me know your comments, questions, concerns in the comment section down below. You can check the description box for the links to the pump sprayers, to the ultimate guide to start your detailing business. You can find my podcast, the Detailing Business Class Podcast, where I talk about sales, marketing, and operations. And if you're in Houston, Texas, and you'd like us to service your vehicle, you can also find a link down below to fill out a form, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, sounds good. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You learned something, hopefully. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one.